Hey there, Golden State Warriors fans. Let's dive straight into the latest updates from the team because this season is already showing some fascinating storylines. The Warriors came into this year with high expectations. On paper, this roster is built around championship caliber talent, a team stacked with players who know how to win at the highest level. Their experience is undeniable, and that has been evident in the first few games of the season, with the Warriors posting 4 wins and only 1 loss in their opening 5 matchups. They've defeated some of the tougher Western Conference opponents, showing flashes of that familiar dominance we have come to expect from this franchise. But as promising as the record looks, there are bigger questions looming over Golden State this season, and they're not the kind that can be answered by statistics or box scores. This is a team whose core is made up of players well into their 30s, some crossing the 35-year mark. That experience brings knowledge, court IQ, and composure under pressure, but also brings the inevitable challenges that come with age: slower recovery, increased fatigue, and the physical toll of a long, grueling NBA season. Even at the very start of the campaign, those challenges are starting to appear. Stephen Curry, the 2-time league MVP and undisputed leader of the team, has already spoken candidly about how demanding the early stretch has been on the veterans of the roster. Curry's comments are telling. After just 7 games played in a span of 2 weeks, he admitted that the veterans are already feeling the effects physically. He emphasized the importance of preparation, both mentally and physically, to perform at the highest level, even when the body isn't fully there. Curry mentioned that controlling a game is as much about intelligence and awareness as it is about physical ability, a mindset that comes from years of experience but also highlights the gap between older players and their younger, more agile counterparts. Essentially, Curry is acknowledging what fans and analysts alike have been whispering for months. Age could become a defining factor for Golden State this season. And it's not just words on a page. Recent results are already hinting at the potential consequences. The Warriors' back-to-back losses following their game against the Indiana Pacers have raised eyebrows. These were not losses to powerhouse teams, but to squads that, by conventional expectations, should have been easier victories. Against younger, faster teams like Indiana, the Warriors have struggled to maintain the same level of dominance they showed against top-tier opponents. It's a nuanced problem, one that highlights the contrast between strategy and execution. When facing teams that push the pace, Golden State has had difficulty matching the energy, and moments of physical limitation have started to show. Watching these games, it becomes clear how age is starting to manifest on the court. In the matchups against the Pacers and previously against the Milwaukee Bucks, Curry found himself being outpaced and outmaneuvered by players who, on paper, do not carry a star power. Guards like Jalen Jackson and other younger players are able to exploit the tempo, push the ball, and force the Warriors veterans into uncomfortable situations. And it's not just Curry. Every key veteran on this roster, from Draymond Green to Klay Thompson and others, faces the same reality. The physical demands of keeping up with fast-breaking, high-energy lineups expose cracks that simply weren't as visible in the earlier, more dominant stretches of the season. This isn't to say the team is failing or incapable. Far from it. The Warriors still have a roster loaded with championship experience and skill sets that, when fully executed, can overwhelm any team in the league. But what's emerging is the realization that this is a team that must carefully manage its energy, rotations, and in-game strategy to avoid being worn down. Curry himself highlighted the importance of preparation, studying opponents, and understanding the evolving pace of the league. It's a delicate balance, relying on basketball intelligence and experience while recognizing the physical realities of competing at the highest level against younger, faster opponents. Another aspect that is gaining attention is the importance of unity and execution within the team. Jimmy Butler's comments after the Indiana loss provide a stark reality check. He spoke openly about the need for the team to return to playing their roles precisely, with every player fully committed to both ends of the court. The Warriors have seen a pattern emerge where they can defeat powerhouse teams like the Los Angeles Lakers, Los Angeles Clippers, and Denver Nuggets, but they stumble against squads that are considered underperforming or less established. It's a frustrating dynamic for fans and players alike. Butler's blunt assessment underscores that it's not just about individual skill, but about cohesive, collective execution. Every pass, every rotation, every defensive assignment matters when you're dealing with a team whose strength is experience, but whose limitation is age. This dynamic is further complicated by the Warriors' offensive structure. While Curry's shooting stretches defenses and creates openings, other players, particularly Jimmy Butler, operate differently. Butler thrives on driving to the basket and generating points inside the paint. Yet the current lineup, comprising Curry, Butler, Draymond Green, Brandon Podziemski, and Jonathan Kuminga, creates spacing challenges. Green and Kuminga are not reliable perimeter shooters, which leads to congestion inside the three-point arc and limits Butler's ability to attack effectively. Head coach Steve Kerr has pointed out that adjusting floor spacing is crucial, especially when trying to maximize the strengths of players like Butler, who operate differently from the traditional Warriors' offensive model. Finding the right spacing could unlock opportunities and make Golden State a problem for the rest of the league, but it requires careful coordination and adaptation. As the season progresses, the question remains, can Golden State maintain its championship-level performance despite these challenges? Can Curry, Green, Thompson, and other veterans sustain their physical output while navigating a schedule filled with high-paced teams, back-to-back games, and the natural wear and tear that comes with age? The opening stretch has shown that the team has the potential to dominate, but also that vulnerabilities are real and present. What makes this story compelling is not just the wins and losses, but how the Warriors respond to the early hurdles. The league is changing, teams are getting faster, and the physical toll on older players is unavoidable. Success will depend on preparation, intelligence, execution, and unity. The Warriors' ability to adjust and innovate while maintaining their championship mindset will be tested over the coming months, and every game offers a glimpse into how this veteran team can either adapt or struggle against the relentless pace of modern basketball. In the early games, the narrative is clear. Golden State's veterans are still capable of brilliance, but they are also confronting the inevitable challenges that come with experience. Curry's leadership, Butler's honesty, and Kerr's strategic insight all play into a larger story, one that is unfolding live on the court with every fast break, contested shot, and critical defensive rotation. The question for fans isn't just whether the Warriors can win games, but whether they can sustain peak performance long enough to truly contend for a championship in a league that favors speed, stamina, and depth. As the season unfolds, the spotlight on Golden State shifts from individual talent to collective endurance. The early games revealed a pattern. When the pace of play accelerates and teams push the tempo, the Warriors' age begins to show. It's not just about missed shots or turnovers. It's about the subtle gaps in recovery, the delayed rotations on defense, and the difficulty in keeping up with younger, high-energy lineups. Stephen Curry has openly discussed this challenge, stressing that preparation is key. Understanding opponents, studying film, and anticipating fast-paced strategies are no longer optional. They're essential for survival in a league that is becoming increasingly athletic and relentless. Curry's comments reflect a veteran's mindset. Even when the body feels taxed, mental sharpness can make the difference. Controlling a game isn't always about speed or raw athleticism. It's about anticipation, positioning, and executing the right decisions under pressure. But the reality is stark. Against teams like Indiana and Milwaukee, the Warriors' veterans were tested in ways that exposed their limitations. Younger guards, unburdened by decades of mileage on their knees, were able to push the tempo and exploit mismatches. It was not a matter of talent alone. It was the difference in stamina and recovery, something that becomes increasingly significant as the season progresses. Jimmy Butler's observations following the Pacers' loss highlight another dimension of the challenge: cohesion. Even with elite individual talent, basketball is ultimately a team sport, and success depends on collective alignment. Butler was unflinching in his assessment. The Warriors need to return to precise execution of roles, paying attention to every possession, defensive rotation, and scoring opportunity. There is no room for lapses when facing teams willing to exploit every mistake. The contrast between their performance against powerhouse teams and their struggles versus underdog squads underscores a recurring issue: consistency. Winning against the Lakers or Clippers requires one type of focus, but the games against teams like the Pacers demand a different kind of mental toughness: the ability to respect every opponent equally and execute with intensity from the first whistle to the final buzzer. This challenge is compounded by the Warriors' offensive identity. For years, Golden State has thrived on floor spacing and three-point shooting, creating openings that allow their stars to attack with precision. Curry's ability to stretch defenses is unmatched, but integrating other players who operate differently, like Butler, requires adjustments. Butler's strength lies in attacking the rim, drawing contact, and generating points inside. Yet the current spacing, with Draymond Green and Jonathan Kuminga limited in their perimeter shooting, creates congestion within the arc and restricts Butler's effectiveness. This forces Kerr to rethink offensive sets, to create room for drives and post opportunities while maintaining the shooting threat that makes Golden State dangerous. If these adjustments succeed, the Warriors could transform potential limitations into strategic advantages, but failure to adapt could magnify their vulnerabilities against quick, aggressive opponents. Defensively, the aging core faces similar pressures. Maintaining intensity, executing rotations, and closing out shooters requires constant energy. Draymond Green remains a defensive anchor, but even his leadership cannot fully compensate for the natural decline in recovery speed and stamina. The Warriors must rely on strategic positioning and experience to offset physical limitations. This means anticipating plays before they happen, leveraging veteran basketball IQ, and understanding the tendencies of every opponent. In many ways, the season becomes a chess match, where preparation and awareness determine outcomes more than raw athleticism. Even as the physical challenges grow, the psychological aspect of sustaining performance cannot be understated. Players like Curry and Green have accumulated years of playoff experience, learning to manage pressure and maintain focus in high-stakes situations. But the repeated exposure to intense games, quick turnarounds, and the knowledge of physical limitations add a layer of mental fatigue. The Warriors must navigate not just the opposition on the floor, but also their own energy reserves, balancing the need to play hard with the risk of burnout. Mental toughness, leadership, and communication become as important as scoring ability or defensive skill. Another dimension shaping this season is the unpredictability of matchups. Some younger teams are not merely fast. They're versatile, with multiple players capable of pushing the pace and creating mismatches. When combined with Golden State's spacing issues and age-related limitations, these matchups can expose weaknesses that may not be apparent against slower or less aggressive squads. Each game becomes a test of adaptation, recognizing threats, adjusting rotations, and making real-time decisions to counter speed, agility, and stamina. It's a dynamic environment that forces the Warriors to constantly evolve while staying true to the core principles that have defined their success. The leadership within the locker room is critical. Curry sets the tone with his work ethic and strategic thinking, but players like Butler and Green contribute equally through their commitment and vocal presence. Maintaining morale, focus, and accountability is a daily task. Every player must buy into the shared vision, executing on both ends of the court, even when fatigued or facing adversity. The pressure to stay unified and consistent is immense, particularly when high-profile losses occur against teams perceived as underdogs. These moments test the culture that has been cultivated over years, challenging both players and coaching staff to reaffirm principles and recalibrate approaches. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Even the unthinkable happened this week. LeBron James, the indomitable king of the Lakers, made comments about the Golden State Warriors that have sent shockwaves through Los Angeles. Known for his loyalty and unwavering dedication to the purple and gold, LeBron's recent remarks praising the Warriors' style of play have sparked a firestorm among Lakers fans, leaving social media buzzing and sports talk shows aflame. During a post-game interview, LeBron didn't hold back in acknowledging the sheer talent and tactical brilliance of the Warriors. "You have to respect what Golden State is doing right now," he said. "Their ball movement, the shooting, the chemistry. They make the game look easy." Simple words, but in the fevered world of Lakers fandom, they ignited a frenzy. For some fans, hearing LeBron commend a team they see as a rival feels almost like a betrayal. The Lakers faithful have long viewed the Warriors as the benchmark for everything that's wrong with the league. The dynasty that seemingly always gets the last laugh. The team that has overshadowed LA in the Western Conference for years. The internet reacted immediately. Hashtags calling out LeBron flooded Twitter. Memes comparing his comments to switching allegiances popped up across Instagram. Even veteran Lakers supporters, who usually respect LeBron's basketball IQ, admitted feeling blindsided. "We get it, he's smart, he's honest, but come on, say that in front of us," one fan tweeted. Sports radio stations have been dissecting every word, speculating whether LeBron's comments were a subtle warning to the Lakers front office or just his candid appreciation for great basketball. Some insiders hint that perhaps LeBron is sending a message. The Warriors' model of teamwork and versatility might be something he wants the Lakers to emulate, and the fans' outrage might be exactly what he expects. While the Lakers continue to navigate a season full of ups and downs, this offhand praise has only added fuel to the rivalry. Warriors fans, on the other hand, are enjoying the unexpected compliment from one of the league's biggest stars. The chatter will not die down anytime soon, and the Lakers' locker room may feel the pressure to respond. On the court, not just in the media. One thing is certain: LeBron James knows how to stir conversation, and with just a few words about Golden State, he has reminded everyone why he's not just a player, but a headline in himself. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.